Hello again, everybody. We're back here for another review, and we're checking out uh, season 2 of He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. This is the Netflix 3D version that I still maintain looks like a poor man's Troll Hunters. Be honest, the only thing I really like about this show since I started watching it is the opening song. It has a very catchy opening song. That's pretty much it. However, we get into season 2 of this and it does not get any better. So let's dive in. Where did we leave off now? I even care to remember. Oh, right, yes. Skeletor takes control of the Eternos army. Teela, Orko, and Rando are on the run. He-Man, Ram-Mam, still hate that name. Duncan and Castle Grayskull gets teleported away by Eldris. So anyway, we start off now with them ending up on the castle that is Grayskull ends up on Avion. Kingdoms up in the sky and thing with some people who have some bird-like wing things on their hands. There we meet King Stratos, who is basically a flashy, obnoxious moron. But honestly, he kind of looks like A-Train from The Boys, just without hair. It's kind of weird, but you know, he's a total annoying pain in the neck. Rather than try to be a king, he's more of a show-off and decides to push his way into the Masters of the Universe and wants to act like he runs it. He-Man eventually gets tired of him and throws him out. So, you know, he decides he's going to put together his own little team with some mosquito woman, a spider thing, and some giant wasp. It was a horrible mess. Honestly, horrible mess. Another thing is that suddenly now, everybody is cool with Rando. I really have no reason why. I really don't understand why. Because, I mean, this is the same man who pretty much didn't care what happened with anyone earlier, but, you know, Teela and Orko are with him, and they end up in the underground city. I'd have down there, all down in the sewers, and they encounter many faces. So many faces. He was supposed to be a master of the universe, but this time around, he's some kind of theater performer or something, and he modified himself to change different faces. One is a robot, one is a human, one is a monster kind of thing. It makes no sense. The whole thing is just an absolute waste of time. Honestly, it all turns up, you know, they don't like Rando. Rando talk about he'll be so sorry for what happened and thing and save somebody and blah blah blah. It's all up and done with. Also, Evelyn goes back to being Evelyn. Why? Because she tried to stop Skeletor from doing something stupid. So he strips her of her powers and sends her out there, and she goes back to her white face, dangly looking limbs nonsense, you know, the whole crap thing that she was doing before. I mean, let's not forget that Skeletor is still an idiot, still a complete and utter idiot with no idea what the hell he's doing and just running around being stupid. The big takeaway from this season is that they're going after something called the Sigil of Hiss. It's these three kind of pyramid-looking little things that just, you know what. Yet somehow they are connected to King Grayskull and something to do with some snake army thing involving resurrecting them and controlling it's basically about controlling some army of I don't know, kind of zombie snake people. That's the whole thing with the Sigil of Hiss, and Skeletor is all he's going to use it to become a god, and although they never really explain how or why, but all we do know that it's connected closely to the power of Grayskull, like two halves of the same or two sides of the same coin then. Once again, we have this sword of power that still looks horrendous and is everything but a sword of power. Right? It's everything but a sword of power. It's a bat, it's a club, it's now a hoverboard, everything else but a sword of power. You watch He-Man using it and it's basically like him swinging a club. And then, you know, when those days come that he needs to just get away from it all, he could just jump on it and ride it like a hoverboard out to the open sea or wherever the hell, and hopefully drunk with this show. But the entire second season is just a complete and utter waste of time. Absolute waste of time. Complete with He-Man and Skeletor dancing the waltz with some robots. Yeah. Then we have Man-at-Arms Duncan throwing a birthday party for Skeletor for some ungodly reason, none of which is of any importance to anything. But no, they just do that in. Also, we have Teela and Adam, and they had this little tiff about Daddy Rando and Eldris, who's missing. Lucky woman, she got away from the second season and most of it, but she shows up at the end, you know, and Adam and Teela are all, you let my dad get captured, and he just as important to me, and she's about, you know, you didn't tell me about Eldris and whatever. I mean, this whole what is Eldris to her? I mean, come on, Eldris has to be her mother. They're like the only two black people that could use magic in this entire show. Who else is going to be? Who else is going to be her mother other than that? Come on. The only other black person there that could use magic is a no-brainer. It drags on continuously, showing a bunch of nonsense nobody's interested in, all leading up to some so-called big final battle where you don't even have to think too hard that Skeletor and his so-called forces are going to lose. It's a complete and utter ridiculous thing. It ends up with him getting sucked into some dimensional rift and disappearing or something like that, and you know, nobody could care whatsoever. But here's the big takeaway from it, right? Ram-Mam, I just hate that name so much. Ram-Mam, who has been pretty much absent for the entire second season. She was like partially there in the first episode, partially there halfway through, and then partially there at the end. Suddenly, and here's the big takeaway from this. Says suddenly now, right? Good old Ram-Mam has this whole drama thing, right? Where after they stop Skeletor and Adam gets back with his goes back to the palace with his father, and you know, the king is giving everybody commendations and awards. Well, Adam is the prince, Teela is the new minister of magic or something, so Duncan is Man-at-Arms. Even the tiger gets some kind of you know, some kind of thing, some kind of historian or some kind of library thing, some nonsense. It turns out now that the jewel in Ram-Mam helmet is connected to the power of Havoc, right? Nothing which was ever told before. Never hinted at it, never gave any information about it, never made anybody aware of it. No. You never made anybody aware of this. Suddenly you just decide to tell everybody that, listen, she finds out that this jewel, which apparently belonged to her father, who got from somewhere, is connected to the power of Havoc. And because everybody's getting these awards and these commendations, she starts to see visions of
Skeletor telling her to that she needs to give in to the havoc and you know, come to the dark side and all of this. And I'm like, okay, you know this man is evil. You were literally the first one ready to step up to stop him from hurting anybody. You didn't want anything to do with this, but suddenly you're being tempted by the dark side. And then then in this clearly cliche, stupid moment, when she overhears Adam and Randor talking and doesn't listen to everything that is said, because Adam doesn't want, Randor wanted to appoint her to some position, and Adam didn't want her in that position because he wants her to be his sister and be brought into the royal family as well. She doesn't hear that part, runs off, you understand me, takes the sigils of his and willingly gives in to the dark side, activates the power of havoc, and when He-Man comes to stop her, this is somebody who you consider to be your brother, somebody who you have said that you care about, and you actively try to murder the man. And then you activate the power and raise an army of zombie snakes. And it has some connection, something about she could bring back her parents. I don't understand how in God's name raising an army of zombie snakes is going to help you bring back your parents. That makes no sense whatsoever. And that's where the season ends, setting up for a third season, which is supposed to be the last. And I don't know why they make a second one, but it's set up for a third season. That this entire second season was just stupid. The first season was utter garbage. This second season make it even worse, and then to add salt to stupidity. At the very end, you decide to take the one character who nobody gives a shit about. And she always talk about why doesn't she have a special move and all of that, and why she have a special move. And then when you do give in to havoc and get your special move, you use it to actively try to murder the person who you consider to be your own brother. That's what you do. That is what you do. That is what we're supposed to believe is actually plausible about all of this. That this would actually happen. This was another horrendous season in a second installment of utter crap. Utter garbage. My final rating for this season, 1 out of 5. Just skip it. This doesn't even, I mean, they're literally trying to go out of their way to destroy He-Man. That's what they're trying to do. I could talk about the entire thing about it, like the art style and the this and that, but it's the same as before. Nothing has changed. It's just the story this time, and the story has just gotten worse. It's just garbage. That's it. Netflix is seriously trying to destroy the legacy of He-Man. I don't even know who they make this show for, because nothing in it could ever possibly be good. Just rubbish. And finally we get to see Ram-Mam, and I know I always hated that name for a reason, and here we go. Anyway, that's it for me. Let me know in the comments what you think, if you've seen this second season of He-Man and the Masters of the Inexplicably Stupid. If you like the video, be sure to hit that thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, ring the notification bell. You'll be notified every time I put out a new video. And I shall see you all in the next video. Take care.